Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Darkwood Bushcraft. Today we are going to talk about the ESEE Izula and the ESEE Izula II. Now these knives are named after a Peruvian biting ant because they are supposed to pack a lot of punch for their size, and I must admit they do indeed. These are a couple of the knives that I have with me on a fairly regular basis because they're very small, very lightweight, and they pack a punch much bigger than their size. So let me tell you a bit about them. Okay, the main difference between these two knives, and we'll address that first, then I can just talk about one knife at a time, is the handles. That's the thing that you can see here is the obvious difference. The blades are identical, the sheaths are identical, but the handles are slightly different. Now the Izula II has a handle, I believe it's about 12 millimeters longer than the Izula, which makes the knife a little bit heavier as well, but not by much. But that's predominantly the difference between the two. I find the handle on the Izula is just a little bit small for my hands. It's a little bit less comfortable than on the Izula II. The Izula II is just right for me. So out of the two, that is the one I favour. So I'm going to pop this one down and we'll talk a little while about the Izula II. Now, the Izula II is 17.1 centimeters long. The blade length itself is 6.7 centimeters. Now that's the same on both models. The thickness I think is 4.1 millimeters, and the overall weight for the Izula II is 95 grams. Now the weight difference for this particular Izula, this one is 72 grams. But that very much depends on what scales you choose to put on it. The Izula can come without a scale set on it, so you can paracord the handle or do what you like with it. But without the handle scales, the Izula is 55 grams in weight. So that gives you some idea. But they both come in at under 100 grams, even with the handle scales on. These are rough micarta, which are great. Now, these are my personal knives. I've taken the coating off the blades, but the Izulas as standard come with a plastic coated blade, which is great for resisting all sorts of things like rust and things like that. I prefer them without the coating, so I usually take the coating off my blades before I use them. But you've got a multitude of colours to choose from. You've got a multitude of different handle scales, and there's a lot of aftermarket sheath options. They come with this plastic sheath with the belt clip on the back, but which does the job, holds them very securely. It's a very strong little sheath, but if you're looking for something in kydex or leather or something like that, there's plenty of aftermarket options. Now, I may have mentioned earlier, but the blades themselves are made from 1095 high carbon steel, hardened to a Rockwell of about 57. So they are tough little buggers. You can batten on these all day long, you can abuse them, and they will take it. They are tough, and the 57 Rockwell is more than adequate to hold a really good, decent cutting edge for a length of time, and they're very easy to sharpen in the field. So that's why they're a big favourite of mine. 1095 is one of my favourite steels for being out and about, because it is so versatile. So that's the blade steel. I've used these for battening wood twice the size of the blade with wedges. I've feather stick with them. They do everything you need them to do. They're a great little knife, standalone or even as potentially a backup for something a bit bigger if that's the way you want to go. The sheath gives you other carry options. You have a nice little hole in the top there, so it works great as a neck knife. It's very, very secure. It's never going to fall out. Like I say, you've got anchor points. If you don't want the clip on the back, you can anchor it any which way you like to your kit. So very, very versatile, very lightweight, great little knife. I'm going to review some of my other ESEE knives over the next few months, so keep an eye out for that, because they're great across the board. But these are, like I say, personal favourites of mine, because you can just pack them away in your kit. You barely know you're carrying them. They're light and they don't have pack a punch. The last thing I want to say is ESEE give a lifetime warranty, no quibbles, when it comes to your knives. So even if you break the blade in half, you send it to ESEE, they'll send you one back. No problems whatsoever. Absolutely fantastic guarantee. You don't get that with many knife companies. So that's the ESEE Izula II and the ESEE Izula. Great little knives, highly recommend them. Happy trails.